So SpaceX, which was founded by Elon Musk, the entrepreneur known for co-founding Tesla Motors, and I think has been a bit of a burr in the saddle of the traditional big three automakers here in Michigan. But we're going to find out because the book by Ashlee Vance is called Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, and the Quest for a Fantastic Future. It is a page-turner that is working its way up the New York Times bestseller list right now. Congratulations to Ashlee Vance, and welcome to the program.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate that. I mean, how do you relate to a guy like this? And tell us a little bit about him. If we ran into him in an airport, what would we walk away thinking?
Yeah, he's a little hard to sort of relate to in a, everyday kind of way. He's not really the kind of guy you might want to have a beer with. I mean, he's very, he's very intense. He's a physicist and an engineer by training, and if you're talking to him, I mean, there's got to be some sort of purpose behind it. We had these dinners where I did the interviews for the book, and he's just kind of, there's no chit chat at all about your family or anything like that. It's kind of, let's get down to business.
So obviously he agreed to cooperate. Was there any resistance on his part or reluctance?
There was, actually. I'd done a cover story on him for Business Week magazine in 2012, and we had a pretty good rapport after that, and I approached him about doing the book, and he turned me down initially, and I just kept going anyway. And I spent about 18 months reporting and interviewed a couple hundred people from Tesla and SpaceX and his life, and then, I guess I wore him down after that, and then he agreed to do some interviews and give me access to the companies.
I guess he must have finally figured out, well, if this guy's going to talk to everybody I know, I might as well get in on this so that it's straight, right?
Right, and I think he saw he wasn't really doing himself any favors by not having his voice in there, and then I think he's kind of relentless in his personality, and I think he appreciated on some level that I just kept annoying him.
Yeah, so so that's how he would go about it. He'd say, okay, meet me for dinner?
Yeah, that was sort of the plan that he came up with after we had this kind of meeting as to how the book would go forward. And he said, well, look, why don't we meet once a month for dinner until you get what you need? And so we would, he's a busy guy. He usually starts dinner around 8:30, and, we would start, and then we shut down the restaurant most of the time. And we kind of just kept going like that. And it took me about, I'd say, 4 pretty long interviews before he really kind of opened up and started to get to new ground.
Did you record those or take notes, or how did you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I did a little bit. I mean, I recorded all of them, but then I kind of take notes as I go along, just because you want to kind of remember all the important. You can sort of feel it as you're going along, the important bits, and then go back and review them.
Who picked up the tab?
I picked up the tab for all of them.
What? You got to be kidding me!
Just as a journalist, even though he's got the many more zeros on his bank account, he's doing me the favor, and I didn't want to owe him anything. So
did he try to stop you?
No, he never did.
The rich are different, aren't they? And was it the same restaurant every time? Where was it?
No, we did this kind of dining tour of Silicon Valley. He's got an assistant, and so pretty much I would always coordinate the stuff through her, and he lives this insane life. He's in Los Angeles half the week, which is where his actual home is, and then he's in Silicon Valley the other half of the week, because SpaceX is in LA and Tesla is in Silicon Valley, and he doesn't have a house in Silicon Valley. He kind of stays at friends' houses like Larry Page from Google and all these other guys. And then, his assistant would always pick the restaurant, and we just hop around wherever he happened to be.
He came into Detroit, I think, this year for the North American International Auto Show. And
yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if you were with him or whatnot. If I'm not mistaken, he really ticked off the traditional big three.
Well, he's got a habit of doing that.
Yeah.
Tesla started in about 2003 and was pretty much a joke in the auto industry for a long time. Their first car was this Roadster, a sports car that came out in 2008 and was very much a niche product. It was crazy expensive and had a lot of trouble getting to market. And then the Model S sedan came out in 2012, which is, again, is kind of a niche product because most people pay about $100,000 for it. But it's been way more successful than anyone thought, even Elon, I think, and they're selling about 50 or 60,000 of these a year, and it's put Detroit on its toes in terms of software, and then obviously the electric cars. But this is the first time Silicon Valley produced anything that would remotely threaten Detroit.
Would you go up in his SpaceX rocket if you were given the opportunity?
Well, maybe not just yet. So for right now, SpaceX, they're doing, they're mostly doing, they send up satellites for countries and companies. They're not really doing the space tourism thing yet, and they do have like a really great track record of taking supplies to the International Space Station and satellites. I mean, they're the U.S.'s primary way to do that right now, and really the only kind of competition against the Chinese and the Russians that we have. But they're looking to start doing manned missions to take astronauts to the space station in about a year or two, and so I would probably have to see a couple of those before I would even think about it.
He's very critical of NASA too, isn't he?
I mean, today, especially because SpaceX's U.S. competitor, Orbital Sciences, they had a rocket blow up last year. So for the moment, this is the U.S.'s only way to get to the International Space Station. And then, if you're talking about competing internationally for launches, I mean, the U.S. used to completely dominate that business and then had gone to zero as far as international competition. And now SpaceX has put the U.S. back on the map. It's essentially the low-cost provider in the industry.
You write in the book that Elon Musk, and the book is called Elon MuskL Tesla, SpaceX, and the Quest for a Fantastic Future by Ashlee Vance, that he doesn't have any handlers. He kind of moves around on his own?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of unique in that way among some of the guys and ladies that I've interviewed in Silicon Valley. I mean, he's certainly got a huge ego, and he's got some pretension about him, but he's also down to earth in a lot of ways. I mean, we would sit down for these dinners, and he would just kind of slink in. I mean, he's not really looking for attention, and he'd sit down and we'd eat, and then, yeah, for the most part, if I was doing something like this with anybody else, I mean, there would be all these layers of people you would have to go through, and I just dealt directly with Elon. We set up these meetings, agreed to do the book, and then whenever I wanted to do anything, I would just email him directly.
Do you think he read the book, or did you get any feedback?
He definitely read the book. I did get some feedback. He, as you might expect from somebody kind of probing into your life for 3 years and then writing a whole book about it, I think some things rubbed him the wrong way, but on the whole, he sent me some notes and said it was well done and accurate.
Oh, all right, then. Congratulations, and that's why it's a page-turner going up the New York Times bestseller list. Congratulations. Very cool conversation.